If I was able to grant you 3 wishes, I can guarantee one of those wishes would be that you could eat whatever you wanted and never put on any weight, and it never affect your physical and mental well-being. Unfortunately, I'm not a magician, and that is not possible. But coming into the Christmas and holiday season, everyone's starting to get a little bit panicky about going to all these celebrations and all these parties and undoing all the hard work that they've done for the past 12 months. Now, wouldn't it be awesome if you could go into these events with the knowledge of knowing that you can indulge because you've looked after your nutrition during that day? It can be done. It's very easily to be done. It's all about planning and knowing what you've got ahead of you in that day or that week, so that you can still include the foods that you want to include and not overeat and overindulge. So what I would suggest is, before going to these events, obviously you still need to eat, you still need to nourish yourself throughout the day, but stick with lower calorie foods that are also high in volume. It's a great way to keep you full and satisfied, so that you can then go to these events and have your wine, your dessert, your beer, or just a heavier type meal that you most probably wouldn't have every day or every week. And because Christmas and New Year's obviously is so close together, we seem to be having a lot of celebrations over a 2 to 3 week period. So rather than throw all your hard work of your exercise and nutrition out the window for the past 12 months, I'm going to list a few foods that are good to have as snacks to keep you full that are low calorie. Unfortunately, there are no foods that are 0 calories unless you're going to be drinking water, which is fine. And I would suggest doing that, especially if you're going to be having alcohol throughout the evening, just to keep yourself hydrated and satisfied a little bit longer. But there are a few foods that are lower in calories, but you can actually have quite a big volume of them, and it's not going to affect your overall weight gain, obviously within moderation. So things like strawberries, watermelons, pineapple, oranges, zucchinis, tomatoes, pumpkin, cucumber, and coffee and tea. And I know that doesn't sound exciting, especially, it's mainly fruits and vegetables, but you can actually have these in quite big volumes, and it's not going to affect your calorie intake for the day as much as things like cereal and toast and all that sort of high density, high carb and high calorie type food. Phil, when you're going to these functions, if it's a dinner function, it's a buffet, I would suggest filling your plate with lean proteins first, as many green vegetables as possible, and then having your potatoes and those sort of foods and your breads and your butters and things like that. But try and have your plate mainly full of your lean proteins and your vegetables. In regards to alcohol, that's totally fine. Like, I'm not going to say don't drink alcohol because it's Christmas, everyone's going to want to have a beer or two, and especially because it's summer here, a nice cold beer is actually quite nice if you're able to drink them. But throughout the day, drink heaps of water, guys, and try and when you are drinking, the same things that apply, try and have water in between and things like that. Not just for the health benefits, but just it's going to make you feel better the next day because you're not going to be as hungover. During the day, in the lead up to an event, I would suggest having high protein type foods, your yogurts, your meats, eggs and things like that, and steer clear of the carbier type and fat type meals, because you will have those at these functions, because everything's generally cooked in fats and there's going to be lots of dressings and your beer and your wine and things like that. Fruits, as I said, as I've gone through those low calorie items, plenty of fruit. It's going to keep you full. It's going to get that sweetness for you. So that's really good. But there's just a few tips, especially coming into the Christmas season, that I would suggest you use to go into these events. Remember, it's a celebration, but you're not just there to eat. You're also there to mingle, to catch up with people, to give them well wishes and all that sort of stuff. So not everything has to be centered around the food, and remove yourself once you're full, guys, and try and use your willpower. And if you aren't feeling hungry or you don't want another beer, try and say no. I hope that helps. We've got a few more videos coming up over the next few weeks in regards to Christmas and holidays and keeping you guys on track. So I hope these help, and I look forward to seeing you all next week on Real Talk with Steff.